We continue our series, Living a Resurrection Faith. Do you remember a time when your heart was troubled? I do, vividly. In fact, in September, it will be 15 years ago that my father died. And when my father died, I was actually in Florida with friends. And I do remember this. The last thing that happened was we kissed each other on the cheek and we said, "I love you," which was a wonderful thing to do. But when I got word in Florida that my father had died, I needed to find my way home. In fact, more than anything, what I wanted to do was just be home with my family. You see, we shared a common grief at that time. Now, my friends were wonderful. They helped me out that day. They rearranged my flights so that I could get home. It was a very warm time for me, but also one where my heart was troubled. You know, the kind of feeling that even if there are a plane full of people with you, you feel as if you're alone. And I was grieving for my father that day. But what I know is that Jesus provided the way. Now, I'm not talking about the path that the plane took or the journey that we took in the car to get to the airport. The way I'm talking about is that Jesus, through his life, death, resurrection, and ascension, provided that relationship with God, a better relationship than had been happening before that. You see, Jesus opened up the way so that the relationship was actually with God and not with the law. Now, this was something that was confusing to the disciples because what they'd seen, they truly loved with Jesus. But when Jesus was telling them that he needed to suffer and die, they were confused. I suppose it's something that we're all confused with. But living a resurrection faith also means that we have to trust. We have to trust that what Jesus has done for us is right and is good. Because Jesus has opened the way. When Jesus says, "I am the way," it's not necessarily a path, literally. When Jesus says, "I am the way," he is pointing to the fact that he is the way to the relationship with God. One, again, that was severed, but is brought back. We're often in times when our hearts are troubled. And even when Jesus says, "Do not let your hearts be troubled," we sometimes can't get past it. But living a resurrection faith means that we understand that there is a way to God the Father, to a relationship, a loving and caring relationship filled with mercy and grace and forgiveness. And that is the way that we choose in a resurrection faith.